everyone! So I'm waiting for a few layers of my newest painting to dry, so I thought this was a good opportunity to show you guys what types of materials I use. I get asked so many questions and I feel so bad that I can't answer every single one, so hopefully I can do my best to help you guys out. And definitely I am not an expert at this. I've been painting my whole life, but I've only been doing watercolors for about a year, and I have learned a lot in that year because I practice all the time, but I learn something new every day. So let me just show you what I know so far. And when I first started out, I would use this type of paper, the Strathmore watercolor paper, and it's 140-pound weight, and it's cold press, and it works really well, especially if you're starting out. It's a really, really good quality paper. You can find it in Michael's, and you know, they always have those coupons, so it makes it even more affordable, especially if you don't quite know what you're doing yet and you want to just play around with it. So this is a good one to get for that. After you've been maybe doing it for a while, I would recommend the Arches watercolor paper, and this is also 140-pound cold press, and cold press means it has like the texture to it, and you can see a lot of the different textures in the paints. And hot press, I haven't used it because I like having all the texture, but I think it's better for more detailed, realistic things. So that's what I've heard of the difference between those. So this paper is actually just sheets of Arches. I use these for my mini frames. I paint, I cut them, and then I put the paintings on a piece of cardboard and I tape it down. And this is actually cheaper than the blocks. So for my larger paintings, this is a 9x12, I'll use a watercolor block. And what that means is that it's taped down on all four sides. And the only downside is you can only work on one painting at a time on this block. So that's why I work on like one big painting a week, and then I'll work on a few mini paintings a week. And how you get that off is you take like a knife and you kind of just like slowly piece it off around the edges. And so that's the 9x12 size. And also in Arches, I use a 12x16 for some larger work that I'll do. This is a really, really fun size. And this is the 12x16 inch block. As you can see, it's taped all the way around, and it prevents the paper from buckling, and somewhat. It still buckles a tiny bit, but nothing like the individual sheets. And this is the background I did for the Bambi, and I did that on 12x16. So you can really get a lot of neat detail, and you can also do a lot of the texture with a larger size like this. And then also, if you're doing more of a fine art quality piece and you want it to be more for a gallery or something, you can buy these individual sheets of Arches paper. This one I cut in half, but these are 300-pound, so it's double the weight of the 140-pound paper. So that's that about paper. And the next question I get asked about a lot is paints. It's probably the most asked question I get. So for paints, I feel like if you have a really good quality paper, you don't necessarily need a really expensive paint. So what I recommend, I had an art teacher in college that had us buy all these materials. I never used them, but she had us buy these kois. So I tried them a year ago and I just fell in love with them. And they're made in Japan, and I like them because they're really smooth and they're really saturated, and they're really cheap. They're like $30 for a set on Amazon, and that's a pretty good deal for an entire set of paint that's lasted me over a year easily and still going strong. Recently I did buy this pack of Lukas paints, and the reason I bought these is because they're in a tray. And I'll do that, hold on. When they're in a tray, they look like this, and you can replace them, you can get more colors for them. The reason I like the ones in the tray is because you can add less water to it, and they're really good for details, And the tubes are really good for the backgrounds, for showing lots of water and movement, and then you can go back in once it's dry with your tray watercolors and you can add all the detail. So that's why I like those. I have tried out some more expensive brands of paint and I don't see a huge difference, so I just stick with what I like, and as long as I have my arches paper, then I think I'm good. Also, you should really invest in maybe a decent brush, and I use all different size brushes. I use so many different brushes I can't even tell you all of them. But the reason I use them is I like all the different sizes. They give you different give you different layers, and it makes it have the painting have more depth. So this is my favorite brush, this silver black velvet, and I just recently bought a small one of these too, so I'm really excited. And for the really tiny, oh, I use this one for some of the lines that I do. This one's not a very expensive brush, but I think it's stable and it works really well for lines. And I use these little silver brushes for details. They're silver ultra minis, and I've bought so many of these I can't even count. Here's a few of the ones that I've destroyed, but there's so many. I've probably bought like 25 or 30 of them. And on that note, you should probably invest in a brush cleaner. So I use this one, the Masters brush cleaner, but you can also use pink soap, and I don't know, I don't really know a difference. I'm not, I just use kind of whatever I have. I don't like to go try to buy new art supplies every week or every chance I get. I just try to use what's convenient. And also I use masking fluid, but that's kind of more of an advanced thing. I wouldn't really do that until you get the hang of trying out watercolors. But when I do use masking fluid, I use this one, the Windsor & Newton. This one has a tint to it, but you can get one without a tint to it. And for less than half the price, you can buy this Lukas one, and it's triple the size, and it works just as well. You can just, this one you can get at Jerry's Artarama, and the Windsor & Newton you can get at Michael's. So Michael's is just usually a little more convenient for some people. The masking fluid, when you take it off, it's kind of, a lot of people can't, it makes the brushes hard and stiff because of like the latex, I guess, and I just usually throw them away because I use my old brushes that I've retired. But you can also, you put them in Goo Gone and you can soak them overnight and it will come off. It's just really messy and time consuming, and I don't know, I'm doing it right now, but usually I don't. So another thing I use, if you make a mistake or if you want a color to look a little lighter, is you can use lifting preparation, and I'm out of it, I need to buy more, but this lifts the color. And this one is Windsor & Newton. Again, you don't have to buy Windsor & Newton. It's not my favorite brand ever, but it's very convenient because it's right around the corner from my house. So I hope that I've answered some of your questions. Oh, one more thing. These are what I use for my tube watercolor paints. These are some of my palettes, and I like lots of colors. So as you can see, I have one, I have two, I have three, and I need to buy another one because they're all filled up. But so that's that, and hopefully I helped you guys out. I will see you soon. Bye.